Okay, I was just thinking about this real quick as I was getting ready to do the video. You guys are probably all wondering why in the past couple videos I've been wearing the exact same sweatshirt. No, it is not that I never take it off, but I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite sweatshirt, and it says, boob shot, I love nursing. You can take that either way. I'm not a nurse. Like I said before, I work at a vet's office, so no, I'm not a nurse. I've never been a nurse, and I don't plan on being a nurse. Long story short, this was my sister's husband's girlfriend's sweatshirt. So long story short, that's it. That is why I have it. I took it from her. And I really started wearing it after I had my kids, because a lot of moms thought it meant like breastfeeding, and so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, that's how I wore it, and that's how I took it. But everyone always asked me, are you a nurse? Were you a nurse? I'm like, no, no, not false advertising. I just love it. I don't know. And now it's completely chewed up by my gerbils. If you can see my pocket is bobby pinned. Alright, but that's not what this video is about anyway. Alright, so this is going to be week 6. I'm sorry, I'm a mess today. I was in the emergency room last night after I got off work. I have an abscess. Yeah, I know, it's disgusting. On my leg, and I put a hot compress on it yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Tried to get it to come out. It didn't, nothing happened. Put a band-aid on it. So yesterday I got in the shower, picked the scab, gross, disgusting stuff that nobody wants to hear about. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm just so used to talking about that stuff, so I just think that everyone's okay with it, because I talk about stuff like this at work all the time. Like, gross, gory things are like on an everyday basis for me, because I work at a vet's hospital, so it's like nothing new. But, so yeah, I was there all night last night, getting checked out, and getting poked and prodded, and I'm on antibiotics, so I'm just a complete mess right now. But anyway, so that's why I look like shit today, and I'm very, very sorry, because I look horrible, even though I don't exactly ever look great, because I look back at some of my videos, and it's not like I've ever looked perfect. So anyway, sorry about that, sorry about the ramble. Week 6, what are your cultural influences? This is a very good topic for me. This is something that I could sit around and talk about all day, because I think your heritage, your cultural influences, your ancestors, I think that should be a very big part of your practice. It doesn't have to be. I mean, there's people out there who don't, connect with that at all, and that's fine, that works for them, but for me, this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. Like a lot of things that have to do with the craft, because I say that a lot. Anyway, so, like I've said before, my main practice is Stragaria. I'm not initiated. My family, as far as I know, I'm not very close to my Italian side of the family because of my dad, because of him, but as far as I know, nobody is a witch. Nobody's a practicing witch. I'm starting to have suspicions of my cousin, but that's a different story. But I was never really taught and raised in the craft or anything like that. A lot of things my grandmother, who is from Naples, well, she was born here, but her family came straight from Naples, from Italy. There's things that I look back in my childhood, because she had a big hand in raising me when I was younger, because nobody else would, basically, and a lot of things she did, I think back on it now, and it's just like, it's, like, I think back about, I'll be reading something, I'll be like, yeah, like, I know, I've heard of that, like, I've done that, my grandmother does that, and so there's things that I feel like she might have converted to Christianity, to Catholicism, sorry, but, I feel like she might have, and I feel like she might have a hand dipped in the big boiling pot cauldron more than I've ever thought she did, if you know what I mean. So, but Italian witchcraft is my main focus. It's something that I was immediately drawn to. I've always been immediately drawn to. It's something that I connect with on a deeper level than more than anything. Like, when I really decided, I am a witch, the first thing I was looking into was who I am. And I'm Native American, Cherokee and Crow tribes, Italian and Irish. So my Italian side has always been the part I've been most drawn to, and my Native American side. And shamanism is something that I don't know much about, and especially as far as my heritage, I don't know much about, but it's something that I am trying to learn more and incorporate more into my practice. And it's, like I said in one of the other videos, it's funny, I was thinking about it, and I was looking into Appalachian magic and just kind of briefly reading it, because technically, I guess my mom's side of the family lives near the Appalachian Mountains. That's where they're from, technically, I guess, because they live in Kentucky. Well, my mom's side of the family is Cherokee and Crow, and they're also a little bit of Irish. So I was looking into it, and it's like Scots Irish. I think that is what she is a little bit, mixed with Cherokee and Crow. And it's so funny how the Granny Witches and the Appalachian magic, how their ways, you know, mixed and mingled with the Cherokee ways. And so I've really been looking into that. I've been wanting to read more. I know that a couple authors have a book on mountain magic, so I'm going to look into some of those books, at least some things that I can learn more about it, because I feel like, I'm sorry about the sun all of a sudden, I feel like that is a big part of my heritage that I've never even really thought of. Right now, so I'm mainly focusing on old European witchcraft. I'm in the Ash, Birch, and Willow tradition classes. I do hope to be initiated into ABW, because it is a practice that is all old and ancient in its own ways. It's a newer tradition. It's by Raven Gramassi and Stephanie Taylor Gramassi. I know there are some people out there who have mixed feelings about Raven Gramassi. I love him. I've talked to him and his wife. They are the nicest people ever. They are so sweet. And at least in my opinion, he knows what he's talking about. And I think he's a great teacher. And so is she. I mean, I personally have not had any negative experiences with them or with their books. I love his writing. He is my favorite author. But I know there are people out there who just don't like him. I know a lot of times people say that he repeats himself, and he does. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to deny it. He does. But he does also even kind of point out the reason he does that so much is because he wants to make sure that you're understanding the information to your fullest ability. And I don't think, and I know some people who are like, oh, well, that means he's thinking we're stupid, and da-da-da-da. No, I don't think so. I think he just really wants to make sure that you learn the information that he's trying to teach. So anyway, that, I really like him, and I really like that class, and ABW is very special to me. I have just completely enamored with it, and it is my life, and lately I've been so blocked and stuck, and it's bothering me so much, because Ash, Birch, and Willow is all about old ancient European witchcraft. It is about working with the Greenwood realm and the Greenwood spirits and the plant magic, and how the plant spirits and the witches, how they've intermingled so much, and how they've worked together all this time, and how important that connection is with them. And European witches, old European witches, it's hardcore primal energy, and you can feel it right off the bat, and that to me is really important. And so I'm really glad I get to pull out my ancestry with that, with my Italian and my Irish ancestry, and really look into that. And it reminds me a lot of my Native American history and my ancestry, and also the Appalachian magic. I'm not saying that I'm the Appalachian witch or anything like that. I know nothing about it. Flat out don't know anything about it. I just think it's cool that from where my mom's family is, how I'm kind of like connecting some dots. And it's interesting that I want to learn more about it. So those are my cultural influences. Those are the big ones for me. And I cannot wait to learn more about it, because that, to me, to be one with your cultural influences and your ancestry is a big deal, because that's who you are. That's what's made you today. Your DNA and your ancestors are in you, and they're living within you, and they always will. No matter how far back it goes, their blood is within you. And to me, that's a big deal. It's something so special. Nobody can take that away from you, not even if they tried. It is something that is so powerful in its own. Because back in the day, everybody was pagan. I don't care who you are, you have a pagan ancestor. And people are so bent on the fact, oh, you're not a hereditary witch. Oh, you weren't born into the craft. Bitch, everybody has. I'm not saying that makes you hereditary, because we all know the difference between hereditary and having ancestors that were pagan. We all know that difference. We don't need to get in the big topic about it, because we all understand what that means. But you can still tap into their energy. Just because you've never met them and because they were way, 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 way back in your family line doesn't mean that you can't tap into that essence and that primal energy that they had when they were alive. And that's amazing to me. I'm not gonna lie, my entire life, I told you, my entire life I would kill to have been a hereditary witch. It was like something I dreamt about all the time. And honestly now, I mean, yeah, it would be amazing to be a part of a true family line of witches who, you know, because they really know what they're doing, but that doesn't make you any less of a witch. That doesn't make you any less of who you are. So it's not something that you should dwell upon. But as far as cultural influences, that to me is important. That to me, knowing your history and your ancestry and knowing your family line, that is another thing I really want to do. You know, like the Ancestry.com, and like find out more about your ancestors and more about who they were and where they came from. I really want to do that. It's just expensive. Like, it's not like, I mean, it's not ridiculously expensive, but it's still pretty expensive, and it's not something that I can afford to do right now. But genealogy and looking back at your history is so amazing to me. It's fascinating, and I want to do that so bad. Like, it's not even funny. They have like DNA tests now and everything where they can actually pinpoint all of your heritage. Like, they can actually pinpoint on a pie graph how much percentage of what you are. And that to me is really cool. So, as far as modern day culture, because I know a couple people were making videos on more modern culture as far as TV and things like that. And oh yeah, I definitely think that influenced me too. I was obsessed with anything that had to do with witches. Stories, movies, TV shows, books, no matter what it was, if it had a witch in it, I was all up in that. Like, I was completely obsessed. Like, you don't even realize how obsessed. I'm sorry my hair looks a hot mess. It's because the sun is right behind me. It's making it look really horrible. Sorry. But, yeah, so modern culture it definitely had, and I think that it was with everybody. I definitely think modern day culture and modern day society had a lot to do with a lot of people who finding out who they were and finding out that they were witches and things like that, because it's just something within you. Like, you know who you are deep down inside, and when you don't know it up here and your heart's trying to tell you, they're going to pull at whatever they can grab, and they're going to pull you and pull you and pull you until you can find the thing that really draws you, and you're like, okay, finally, click, it's like a light bulb turning on. So as far as movies like Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus, that was my favorite movie. Things like that. What were some other ones? Charmed, of course, Buffy. You know, like those types of shows, they definitely played a huge part in my daydreaming as a child of wanting to become this super powerful magical witch who came from this family ancestry line of fairies and witches from another planet, you know? Like, that type of thing was what I dreamt about as a child, is what I wanted to be, and you know, it might not have worked out in the way I imagined it in my head, but I'm still a witch, and I'm happy to say that. So, I guess in some ways it did happen that way. But, as far as right now, that's all I really am going to say on cultural influences. I want to know what you guys are. I really want to know more about people's ancestry and their heritage and their cultural influences, and what part of them drew them to the craft, and what part did they really discover they were completely influenced by when they realized that they were a witch, or when they started practicing. Because I think we all have our own little bits and pieces of our ancestry influencing our practice, even if we don't realize it. So that to me is very cool, and I'd love to hear your little stories on it and everything. So, alright, I'm gonna go. It's time to go make dinner for my chitlins. I just was working a little bit in the garden, even though I feel like crap. Bless you be. Much love. Bye.